So, happy Monday, good morning. I'm Nathan, and with It's Good to Talk, and today we are getting on track together. I nearly forgot then what I was doing. That's when you're doing it yourself, you know how it works. So welcome. It's Monday morning. We're in the community lounge at Runcorn Station, as we usually are on a Monday morning. A massive welcome to our guest today, Kirk. Hi mate, how are you?
I'm all right, yeah.
Did I put my mic? Yeah, I've just got to check. I'll just check if I put my mic on. We're all good. See, when you get, we're not at the stage yet, but someday in the future we might have like a sound guy or something like that, you know, right? All sounds all good to go.
Yeah.
But now it's just wing it, you know.
Yeah.
So, which reminds me, you see, part of the winging it is when we start off. This is the tablet here. So what I have to make sure is that I keep on top of the comments.
Mm-hmm.
The only way to keep on top of the comments, you see, is by doing that. So then I can see the one. Turn that down. There we go. Yeah, good morning. So it is Mental Health Awareness Week this week, guys, and it's Mental Health Awareness Week pretty much every week for us. It's good to talk because that's what we're all about, right? And everyone has mental health, everyone has physical health. Sometimes they're not in as good a shape as other times. So we, as you know, It's Good to Talk. We're all about sharing the load and trying to stop the stigma and giving everybody those conversations that we need to have. Very, very fortunate to have Kirk here today. Amazing singer-songwriter, aren't you, mate? Very humble as well. And I saw Kirk perform at the studio last month. It was. Now the studio actually they've got a night on this week. So this is the studio on Widnes. It used to be it's like the old theatre building, I think. Like
it's a beautiful building.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? It's so good. It's very majestic.
Yeah,
you know, I would say, and awesome sound in there, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we've got a treat today because I saw Kirk there. They've got a night on this week, Friday, 19th of May, this Friday. Yeah. So if you want to see some live music, then you've got much worse places to go than that. Really good act. And Kirk was one of them last month. And like I said, we're in for a treat today. So he's going to hopefully perform a couple of songs for us after, which I'm really looking forward to. So Mental Health Awareness Week. It's a big week for us. And also it's an opportunity to have those conversations that you don't normally have. So part of that we're going to do today. I also want to welcome our new partner. So we've got a new partner on board with Getting on Track Together, which is our show. So that's what we called our show, Getting on Track Together. Obviously being at the station and all this sort of stuff and doing it together. It's all about that collective, you know?
Yeah.
So we've been looking for a partnership really. So with this show and everything that I do with it, It's Good to Talk. We want it to be run with partners, you know, so local businesses or larger businesses get involved, and then they provide the impetus, the funding support, allowing us to do everything we need to do. So we've got one of the partners now for the show, so I'm really happy about that. And they are Global Wind Power. So we will be putting their logo out and a little bit about what they do. And they've come on as one of our partners for this show. And if you're interested in being a partner yourself or your business, please get in touch because we're always looking for extra support because we don't really have any. You know, it's a collective of volunteers, myself, and then other people as help as much as they can, as and when they're able to. So we're always after support. And I'll share some more info about what we've got going on this week as we go through the morning, not the day. It's beautiful outside there right now, isn't it? Gorgeous, yeah. Had a little bit of a downpour, which is good. Water all the plants and give a bit of water for the birds and all that. We need that. So today we have a bit of a theme running through each episode that we do. So today is episode 17, I think we're on today. And today's is hope. It's all about hope. So we've got a quote of the day is from a man called Desmond Tutu. Desmond Tutu. Hope is being able to see that there is light despite all of the darkness. And it was funny because I chose that quote about light, and then when I went on your profile today, you got look for the light. So I love little things like that, synchronicities. Yeah. But yeah, very, very powerful for me, that is. And we talk some on this when we're doing the show, and I talk a lot outside the show about various ways to help yourself, you know, to feel better. And one of the biggest ways I would see is looking for the things that are the positives, you know. So and that's huge for me because light light can be in the tiniest of corners, can't it? Sometimes, and
Yeah.
also it can be in the most unexpected circumstance. So I talk a lot about the ripple effect, about what we have with people, right? So how people in general, unfortunately, feel like they can't make a difference to each other. I'm just little old me, speck of dust, rock floating through space and all that. Yeah. Well, for me, that's not in any way real. We're all part of this collective, and we all have a responsibility and also a power to help each other. And sometimes that's with just a smile. That's bringing me back to the hope and the light. Is sometimes it's just a smile. Sometimes it's just like you're having a bad day. You go in the shop and somebody's not having a bad day, and they give you that smile and maybe ask how your day is, and all of a sudden it's just wow. That's seeing the light. So so have you got? What do you think about that quote then? Putting you on the spot.
Say it again.
So hope is being able to see that there is light despite all of the darkness, and that was from the late great Desmond Tutu.
Yeah, I mean you've got to try and see the light, haven't you?
It's hard, isn't it?
There's a lot of darkness,
Yeah.
So you've got to try and but there is a lot of light too, It's all in your head, there are most people you meet are beautiful and great, they really are. Everyone wants the best for each other, really.
Yeah.
Deep down, you always get the nutter, but they're like minority, It's just a shame they're in power. That's the only thing,
Yeah, exactly.
But most people are on it, They really are.
Yeah.
I
I totally agree with that. Right. I do believe that we're not seeing the best of people.
No.
And that comes from the situation. So like fear, for example, fear is, I go on about that because fear is such a massive thing. And as soon as everybody goes into fear mode through stress and worrying about war and I'm not fitting in and I'm not being able to pay my bill, all this different stuff,
news.
right? Exactly. Yeah. Turn the news off. I always recommend that. But all this stuff, it's fear. You can't, everything changes in yourself, doesn't it? So as soon as you're in fear mode, you've got all the fear hormones running your life instead of the other hormones running your moods, So when you're going around, everybody's scared without realizing they're scared. So they're irritable. They've got no patience. Everything seems rubbish. They can't see the light, So then you've got everybody, and then if you take everybody at that, what you see is that, then you're like, oh, people are rubbish. You hear that a lot, right? But I agree with you that people in general are not. People in general are far from rubbish. I think we have such capacity for amazing things, but it should sometimes just opening that door, like scratching the surface, get all the cliches out, to get all those people, to get the people
thinking in a different way.
and remembering who we are,
Yeah.
A big part of what I talk about is becoming the real you, so that getting rid of the learned behaviour. So I think, obviously, this morning I wanted to say thank you as well for not just being here today, but also because you were due to come on next week, weren't you?
Yeah.
So last minute we said to you yesterday, is there any chance of you coming tomorrow? And he was like, yeah, man, great. That's brilliant. Thank you so much. Really, really saved it. So how did it come about then? With
well, just before that, when you said becoming the real you, how have you come to that?
Oh, so I'm still trying to find it.
Right. Okay.
I'm on the way to it. Yeah. So all I mean by that is that. So when I was 40, so I'm 44 now. I got the white beard and all that. It's all good. I'm going for the Gandalf. But I'm 44 now. So when I was it's up until I was 40. So I was like living my thoughts were me, like going to all the thoughts that arrive in your head. You know what I mean? Like the general gist is that, that's just okay. I go with that because it's in my head. So that was just me, just normal, and living as a normal man, keeping everything inside and all this sort of stuff, and living with the learned behaviours that I didn't realise I'd had for my whole life. So then it was in 2020 for me that my life changed. So now, so I'm trying to get every day, trying to find keep with the real me.
So what changed in 2020? No, I should be interviewing.
No, it's all right, man. No. So I went through my own sort of experiences, so to speak. In early 2020, a lot of stuff was before lockdown and everything. There was a lot of personal stuff going on. For want of, some people have all different names for these experiences. Some people call them sort of awakenings. Some people call them going nuts. People have their own different ways of looking at things. But yeah, so that was my thing. So then I was on a different mission then, yeah. So it changed my life actually. But before all the lockdowns came, January 2020, that was like a big moment for me. Yeah.
Wow.
My life just totally changed. Yeah.
And you've stayed on that.
Yeah. So here I am now. Yeah. So in August 21 was when I started a little men's group over in Frodsham, which is a couple of miles away. So we do that every week, every Thursday, and then bit by bit, we're here now doing this, and then we've got music festivals we're doing this year where we're like having a drop-in space, at music festivals.
Oh, brilliant.
And we do like drop-in space here. We do reach outs, we do music nights and things. So it's all just different ways of, basically, how I saw it was, it's not about me this show at all, it's about you today. But how I saw it was very
I was just intrigued.
Yeah, of course, yeah. I was just reminding the viewers.
Oh, right, okay.
But yeah, so basically how I saw it was that everybody, the majority of people in this country are walking around in fear without realising it. Fear of bills, fear of being left out, fear of not being good enough, fear of not being a celebrity, fear of not being listened to, fear of having made mistakes all your life. All the different things that you're scared of, apart from the scared of war and everything else, right? And I see it very, very simply as when we're like that, then we can't be our best selves. So then what you need to do is offer people that forum, that place and that connection, that friendly smile, that listening ear, so that people can then start to offload and realise who they actually are and what they're capable of. So that's essentially
amazing
part of what we're trying to do. Really.
Amazing, man.
Give somebody that, somewhere to go.
Yeah.
So that's really why you're here today. So like I said to you briefly before, it's about, this show is very much about reaching out in another way, and connecting people together.
Brilliant.
And today what I'm really excited about, which is different to normal, because we haven't had anybody yet come on and do their own songs.
Oh, right, okay.
So I'm really excited about that. Really excited, because me and Junior usually do a song every week. So yes, so no, I don't play. I sing.
Oh, you sing?
Yeah. So me and Junior will do a song every week, and usually what it is we'll get here on the morning and we'll go, right, so what song are we doing today? And we'll go, I don't know, what should we do? And he's like, I know that one.
Right.
It's like that. So I'll have the lyrics on here and then we'll bash it out, Morning, Kathy. Kathy says Junior's looking a little flat today. Yeah, it sure is. Hey man, you all right? Quieter than usual as well. Morning, Reese. How you doing, man? So guys, before we carry on, please, any questions you've got, anything you want to say about, let us know. Anything at all, really, just give us a shout out. Kirk is here, giving up his time. Very, very, very much appreciate it, man. Really, really good. And I think I think that's a really good place to start, to be honest, is. So obviously anybody watching this now, they probably don't know, who we are, who I am. Never mind who you are, you come along. And I've said you're a singer-songwriter, and, so what do you do then? Who are you and what do you do?
Well, what do I do? I do my best. That's what I do.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm a singer. Yeah, I write songs. I play music. I played music since I was like 12, playing the guitar. Still obsessed with it, really. Still think I'm rubbish and trying to get better all the time. So that's just something that's in my head. I'm never happy really with it, but which is good because it drives me. I think you should never be happy. You should never think you've got it down. Because you just haven't. There's always something to learn. I'm always learning off anyone who plays in front of me.
Yeah. But do you think like this? Do you think there's a difference between so when you said about I'm never happy with what I've done, is that to the point of, so when I look back to my life before, then that was a part of my life where it was to the detriment, of me. So like, I can never be happy with anything. Do you know what I mean? Is it like that, or is it more sort of you're happy with it, but you know that you can always add something and do a bit?
Yeah, I think with the last recording I did, I'm happy with it. It's good. I'm not saying I don't mean it by that. I mean, I think what I mean is when you sit down to write, it's that blank piece of paper again, and it's like, oh God, I don't know what I'm going to do. It's that feeling of, even though I've had all this experience, it's still that feeling of
of course,
what I ain't got a clue what I'm going to do, So it's that really. It's that it never comes easy, It just doesn't come easy, To me, anyway. To some people it does, but I love music. I think I love playing. I think it's it's always been my place to go to throughout my life, you know.
Yeah.
Always. I mean, I had to stop playing there in October for 6 months, and that really didn't help my mental health at all. You know, I struggled a bit there.
Was that why? Why did you have to stop playing?
My hand just, I think it was, I'm still struggling actually with it, but it's not as bad as it was where I had to stop completely before. But I think it's like repetitiveness or some sort. I was doing some sort of weights on it, and I think I've strained it or done something to the.
Oh no! Man.
It's still a ongoing thing, but I'm back playing, so that's good, you know. But,
because I noticed at the studio when I saw you playing, you do a lot of very quick, intricate playing.
Yeah, well, my fingers are always going, you see, so it's like
very fast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you tried anything for it?
Well, I tried playing with a plectrum, but I just can't.
No, I mean for your hand.
Oh, yeah, there's lots of exercises, and I'm taking certain. I've just started taking B vitamins actually. That someone recommended, and they seem to have helped it a bit. So, have
you tried maybe cold water therapies?
I've been. Well, I've cold showers and in the morning, and when you put it in cold water, you can feel that it feels good for it, you know. But I don't do it enough, so my head is. If I don't do it there and then, now I move on. You see, my head's all over. But I must do that. I must start doing it.
Yeah, it's habit. We talk about this a lot as well. It's those, you know, creating habits. It's not one of the hardest things, isn't it? Creating habits and stopping habits that you don't want to do.
Yeah.
Sorry. So how long have you been doing what you do then? So and also, do you travel around doing this? You know,
I was started when I was like 12. I'm 44 now.
Yeah. Good age.
Yeah, it's a good age. Yeah, it is. 40 is a good man. You become a bit more content within yourself, you know. Played all over. Not played all over. Played around Europe a bit. Went to India, been to Australia, and played around England a lot, you know. I just love playing. I just love playing, sitting down, going through the piano. It's like I'm not here for those 2 hours, you know. I'm in it's like meditation, you know. It really is. I recommend anyone just playing an instrument just to sit down. It takes, you know, you can't think of anything else. You're just playing your instrument or singing or music's so powerful for that, you know. Really, you don't think it is really. You hear that quote, music's magic and powerful, and you think it's just music, you know. But when you do it, you really do feel uplifted. It's you do feel positive, more positive, you know. Yeah. Definitely.
And as we're sort of, there's a lot more understanding nowadays about what music, the way that music works, isn't it, as well? That if you have the right sound at the right frequency and the right level, then it switches something on inside us, doesn't it? So if you've got that with music in general, you know, it lifts you, gives you the happy hormones, you get the pleasure hormones as well, so you can have all this. And you see people at a gig, you know, it's a nice gig, nice music. Everyone becomes connected as well. So you've got that part of it as well, isn't it? Everybody's amazing. It's like brings people together as well, isn't it? You know?
I mean, there's nothing negative about music at all. I can't find, unless it's Ed Sheeran or something.
Wow.
That'll come to no joke. No, Ed's good, man. He does his thing, you know what I mean? He's not my bag, but no, there's nothing in music. Any style of music, I'll always try and find something in it, you know, anything, really. I'll always try and put my mind in, don't be negative towards it. Even opera, I struggle with some opera, but I'd still make myself listen and think, how is this working? How is it, what can I get from this, you know?
I think there's always, don't you think there's always some kind of, there's always a genre, or that people like mine, I really struggle with country and western, I'll be honest, right? But I think some of it is okay. It's just, I think, more the proper hardcore country western, and then the other one for me really I can't do with is death metal. I really, and I've got friends who love it, and that's brilliant. Like, you know, if you love death metal, I've got a couple of friends, you know, who love very much that hard. But for me, it's just I just can't ever. I've never been able to connect with that. For me. You know, is there any like
I'm kind of the same with death metal. The only thing that I try to get from death metal that blows my mind is are the drummers. Yeah, the drummers are sick. The drummers are just like it's like you cannot drum like that.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? There's a guy, one of my friends at the men's group, met through the men's group. He came up. He was in hospital for something quite serious, and he woke up, and the first thing he said that he remembers was the guy from Slipknot drumming. I can't remember the guy's name. But he said it just mesmerised him. So he wants to be a drummer. He wants to do drumming because he says that he was inspired just by watching that, and it is, isn't it? Like we've had it up on here in the lounge. One of the drummer guys, and it is just like
they're stunning.
Crazy how they even managed to do that.
I don't know how they do a 2-hour gig like that. They must be so fit. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's
the drum like that.
Unimaginable, isn't it? Maybe they've got like fake little arms or something, you know. I don't mean this, obviously. You know, they don't want to sue me or anything. Do you remember that guy? Oh, what was that? That British band? Was it Def Leppard or something? They had like a drummer with one arm.
Drummer. Yeah, he lost his arm in a car crash, didn't he?
No way.
That's how he. Yeah, what was he called? Him. Yeah, he was. He was just. My uncle used to say he was just as crap with two arms. No, he was good, man. To play it again with one arm, it's amazing. So was he the drummer before he lost his arm? He was,
with Def Leppard?
Yeah, they kept him. They kept him on, and he said, "We won't get rid of you." So he said, "Right, I'm going to practice now with one arm." So amazing.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to watch.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like it just shows you what we're capable of, doesn't it?
Yeah, amazing.
Absolutely. So you sing a songwriter, and maybe now would be a good time if you were up for it to start us off with a bit of a song, because obviously by saying you've got guitar there and everything, and you're all. What do you think about that?
Yeah. Play a song.
Now I did ask you this morning, didn't I? For a particular song. What was that one called?
It's a song called Murmur.
Murmur.
It's about. I wrote a song about my dog.
Yeah. Watch
the mic.
If you need to, you can always put it a bit higher if it's in the way. If you're not really comfortable. That's it. Right. So this is called. Is this the one you do now? Then?
Yeah.
Okay. So, ladies and gents, I'm really, really proud to introduce Kirk Mcelhinney. Is that right? Pronounced your name right as well. And he's performing live exclusive for us. Is this on any of your albums at the minute, this one?
It's not, no. I've not recorded it. I have recorded it, but it's not out yet.
Oh, okay, bro. Oh, even better. Yeah, exclusive. Yeah. Awesome, I love that. Someone says Rick Allen is the drummer with one arm.
Ah, Rick Allen.
Yeah. Right.
Give you. Hold on 1 second. You give me your all. I never hear a murmur. I throw you a ball. You keep life in the moment. My head's in the clouds. You pull me back down. You turn it around without making a sound.
Back in singing.
Take a verse. You're here by my side. We've walked for miles together. You take it all in your stride. Your soul's a shining light. When walking away, your eyes, they say stay. You're leading the way, always wanting to play. You're here by my side. Walk for miles together. You take it all in your stride. Your soul's a shining light. My head's in the clouds. You pull me back down. You turn it around without making a sound. You give me your all. I never hear a murmur.
Mate, that was amazing. And really
Messed up the beginning though, but
Oh,
it's
no,
a bit
do you-
early, innit?
Yeah, do you know what? No one would even notice. Honestly, that was beautiful. And I think that. So, can you just tell us about that song then?
Well, just it's about my dog Elsie. It was just a beautiful being, you know. She's just someone to really strive to be in your outlook in life. She just loves everyone instantly.
Yeah.
She never gives anyone any grief. She even knows, you know, when I'm sat there and I'm down or upset sometimes, and I try not to let on, and she's the one that clocks it instantly. She'll clock it instantly, and she comes over to me every time, and I've not even done anything. She can just. I often think, can she see something or feel something? Because she's lying down, and then I'm not in a good place, and then she'll lift her head up, you know, and I'm like,
away, don't they?
clock that. How have you done that? And then she's over, waggling head on me, climbing on me. She's just like
it's very strange. Isn't it? So like with you wonder whether it's something because they've got a very keen sense of smell. So is it something? But obviously the other part of it is as well that I say to a lot of people is that our human eyes can only see a tiny bit, can't they, of everything around us. So it's a tiny fraction of our reality.
What do you mean?
Yeah, of our human eyes.
Yeah.
So who knows what is outside those realms? You know, what kind of energy,
spectrum?
Exactly. Yeah. So, but it is amazing. Yeah, amazing dogs. They just know, don't they?
Some dogs, some dogs more than others.
Yeah,
some dogs are like, ooh, it's like not with you at all. Do you know what I mean? And that's great too. I love those dogs too. But she's really, you can see why they use them as guide dogs. She's
very much.
Lab, and she's just so beautiful in every way. You know,
lovely, man.
She's amazing.
And it's a really beautiful song. And when you played that I was all in, captivated. You know. So with that, you're recording that soon, are you?
I think I did record it. But I did with some recording before my hand messed up. But and I think that was one of them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if people were watching this and then they wanted to get it, is there anywhere that they can listen to it?
It'll be on my here. What, to listen to it now?
Yeah.
I think I've done versions on it on YouTube. There's me just playing it, and on my Facebook.
Right. But, so if we put a link after to your YouTube. Then, then they can get it on there.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I love that. Absolutely love that song. Is it hard to? Because obviously it's quite an emotional. Because you're, Monday morning trying to get yourself into that place of. Because a lot of your music I got from the studio is very. It's very emotive, sort of very connected, aren't you? It's not just like a little pop song, is it? It's like means something to you.
Yeah, I always try and write it as like a diary, where my head's at and how I feel about things, because it's no point otherwise. I don't get lyrics that don't mean anything. That's why I never got the Oasis thing. As good as as good as Noel is at writing a riff, his lyrics are whack. They don't mean anything. It's like say something. Do you like Bob Marley says say something? Don't just say words. I don't know, but then again, you've got Paul McCartney who does that too, and I love Paul McCartney, so I'm I'm a hypocrite as well.
Bob.
I mean, it's amazing though, you know what I mean?
Definitely,
But I always like lyrics that say so, like Bob Marley and Sex Pistols, and just people who say stuff. You know, Stevie Wonder's another one for me. He's just he's the one really. Stevie Wonder. He always everything he writes from his heart, and so it's not a song that he doesn't say something in.
No.
He says something in everything he's written.
It was really cool. We had Pete Waterman on here, and
I saw that.
Right? And he was name dropping. His name dropping was ridiculous. You can imagine, can't you?
Yeah.
Because I'm never. To me, a human is a human. So nobody gets. For me, whatever uniform they're wearing or whatever title they have, they're no different to me. Everyone's just the same. Right?
Yeah, it's great.
So celebrity is no different.
No.
But it was beautiful listening to him, and he sat there and he's going like, when Michael Jackson first did the moonwalk, and he sat with Diana Ross and Berry Gordy and all that sort of stuff. And then
he was,
he's on about working with and Stevie Wonder. He had a Stevie Wonder over to do some work with some school kids years ago and all this. So he's been around these these legends. Stevie Wonder, I saw him live. Great
you saw
artist.
him?
Yeah, great artist in Manchester. But
I saw him.
Yeah, it'd be cool. Did you in Manchester? Was it when he did?
Yeah, 2008.
Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah, great. He's just an awesome guy, and he just comes across as obviously we only see what we see, don't we? But he just comes across as just being happy.
Who's Stevie?
yeah, just like man, happy, man.
Yeah. I don't think you can write songs like that and not be a beautiful person.
No.
You just can't.
No, and even when you go back to his older stuff, when he was a kid, obviously people don't realise, do they, that he was a kid once.
Yeah, little Stevie Wonder,
a little black and white. Footage of him, with the shades on, and stood up at that time, performing, and I can't remember what show it was I saw him performing on. But so he's been around for a while, hasn't he?
Oh yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah.
So when you mentioned just then about like Sex Pistols and Stevie Wonder and people like that. So what do you have any particular idols, like inspirational wise, that you sort of, when you were growing up, you sort of, I love that?
Yeah. There was a life changing moment when I went to see Bert Jansch. You ever heard of Bert Jansch? He was like probably the greatest imaginative guitarist I ever lived for me. He was, and still is. I still listen to his stuff, and people not really into his voice, but it's his playing and his writing and his lyrics that just blew everything away. Just blew the whole table away. And I got to meet him a few times.
Oh yeah.
And I saw him with the Band on the Wall when I was in my teens, and I used to play electric then, and then I just came out and I never touched electric again. I just love. He's just a genius. True. I know people use that word a lot, but he truly is a genius of music.
So Bert Jansch.
Bert Jansch.
So yeah, guys, check him out. Bert Jansch. Is he on YouTube and everything?
Yeah, he's all on there. Yeah, he's. He influenced them all. Jimmy Page, Johnny Marr, all of them. He was like one of the first.
Right. Okay. So there's probably a few people out there who know exactly who you're on about.
Yeah. It was like the folk blues sort of vibe, but I remember sat in the green room with him when I was waiting because I was supporting him once at a gig.
Oh wow, yeah.
And he was sat there, and I remember walking in. I must have been about 17 or something. And I was listening to his stuff for about 2 years solidly, trying to get his stuff off and learn. I thought, right, I've got that one, I can do that one, I can do that. And then when I sat down, he was quite a quiet guy. And I remember just sat next to him, and it was really weird. I'll never forget it. And he was sat there, and he was just warming up on the guitar, but he didn't say much. He was really quiet, introverted guy. Yeah. But his playing was just like, and I remember thinking, oh my God, I shouldn't be here, really shouldn't be here. I thought I knew his stuff, but just listening to him, I just thought, oh my God, I've got to go out now. And it must have been about 300 people there. And I remember shaking. I remember my hands were shaking to go on. I was like, what am I doing here? But it was amazing, And then he came on, and it was just, I used to follow him around. Every time he came up this way, it was kind of like my schooling, really. Yeah. I used to watch him all the time. I used to go and watch him all the time and try and learn, see what he was doing.
That's awesome, man.
How he thought, and try and learn his songs to see how he would, see how he played. I wanted to play like that. I like that finger style,
Yeah.
And then you go on to other people. I think probably the greatest guitarist, like technically, would be, he's no longer with us, but he was a Spanish guitarist called Paco de Lucia. Right, okay. Who's just complete one-off player, He was. If you ever get to just check him out on YouTube, he's just mind-blowing. His rhythm, his sense of melody and his sense of lead playing. He had it all down. Most people are good at rhythm players or lead players,
of course, yeah.
but he was a master of both, like a pure master of the guitar.
And it's so beautiful to listen to, isn't it? With just the guitar, and I think that's something about your playing, is that when you're doing a song, it's not just like you've got really, really emotive lyrics and everything, and it's beautiful, and your voice is great, but then also you've got the playing aspect of it as well, and you can see that you really put a lot into that.
Yeah, try and make it interesting, try and, there's room for strumming just a few chords, that's great too, but there's not just that, there's other stuff, there's loads to, even now there's still stuff to look at people and think, how are they doing that, even these youngers now that are doing all this slapping and it's just crazy.
Have you seen much of Ren? Have you seen that guy? Yeah. What do you think of him?
I saw that great video he did where he's at mental health, he's in that.
Hi Ren.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Blew my mind.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, but it's great to see actually, because a lot of new artists today, I think it's driven a lot by ego. There's a lot of ego about now in music, and I think rather than the heart of music, and Ren seems to be bringing that back in, being truthful and saying, it's not really about Rem, it's about Rem's trying to bring people together and make say a statement, say something again, and I think...
Yeah, he's been around for a few years, hasn't he?
He's amazing. He's a genius,
really,
I'd say.
I would agree. Yeah, definitely. And the way that he, when I first heard that song, Hi Ren, so it's very much, for anyone who doesn't know, check it out on YouTube. Just Hi Ren, R-E-N, and he's sort of talking about his own inner battles, pretty much, isn't he? And I think when I said to you before about the thought thing, it's a game changer for people. When life changing, the moment that somebody realizes that just because something's in your head doesn't mean that it's real, doesn't mean it's true, doesn't mean that you need to go with it. It doesn't even mean it's you. And I didn't mean to do the little poetry there, but sometimes it helps, right? But yeah, I think that it's life changing at that moment, that you can have these thoughts, you don't know where they're from or why they're there. And I think for that song, I think it's a lot about that. It's about he's battling his inner demons, isn't he? And it is sometimes like that for people, especially when they're in that dark place. When you're in the dark places, then that negative voice is louder than ever, isn't it?
Yeah, gotcha.
Which brings me on to, so one of my questions was, and I mentioned this to you before, and this is when you went, so, and it's obviously only what you want to share, so when was the last time that you remember being the most lonely, or
last night? No, yeah. Well, I'm going through a bit of a mad time at the minute with my wife and stuff like that at the minute. But,
I can relate to that, mate.
yeah,
very much.
It's hard when you got kids and
same. Yeah,
you got children.
Yeah. So I am living a situation at the moment where living with my ex. So I've got 5 kids altogether.
You have?
Yeah, 20, 18, 15, 11, and 20 months. So 20 months, she's just like this little
mine seems totally double now.
And I homeschool the 11-year-old.
You do?
Yeah. So Zach, he's awesome. He's not here today, but he's like our official little cameraman. And part of his homeschooling, because like being here around people like Pete Waterman and stuff like this, it's great education for him. And he does video editing, he does edits and things. So he's like our guy, that cameraman, and then does after edits, clips and stuff. But yeah, so I get it totally. So I'm in this situation, been living in there since last year when we separated. So yeah, it's quite a.
So you're living with your ex?
Yeah. So then she sort of. She comes out of the house, goes stay with some family, or what I mean. We try and make it the best we can.
You're living together, but you're not together.
Yeah. That's it.
For the kids.
Yeah. No, because we've got this. Because the situation. They're like, it's not an easy situation at the moment with all the property and all that sort of thing, and trying to find somewhere to live. Yeah, it's gone through the roof. So
you're getting on though. You get on and
ish. Sometimes more than others. So yeah, it's quite a different. But I relate to what I mean. These personal things that we have, and then obviously you come out, and whether it's like on you go out and do a gig and you're playing, and nobody accounts for what he's got going on in his life. I wonder how stressed he was before he came. and then you sort of when you're there on stage, it's like. You're not like you said. You have to put everything behind you, don't you?
Yeah, you
just
have
like
to
be consumed with that moment,
Yeah.
sort of thing. Yeah.
You have to, yeah. Otherwise, you can't do it, you know. And yeah, my brother died at Christmas. That was
Oh,
a sudden thing. And I'm still,
sorry, dude.
yeah, that's really hit hard. Still,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I still kept that's. I don't even feel. I'm gonna start crying now. I don't even feel. I don't even feel like I've really. What's the word I'm looking for? Like taking that on, you know. Keep kind of burying it, you know.
Yeah. That's the normal reaction, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it must be. Yeah.
Yeah. It's very
Because he was there one minute. I was chatting to him the day before, and then the next minute, police are knocking on my door saying he passed, and it's.
Oh, jeez.
And I keep getting flashes of that, you know.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's a weird. I keep seeing myself on like. I don't keep seeing myself, but I keep seeing myself on certain videos that pop up before my brother died and how I was and where my head was.
Yeah.
And I feel different now.
Yeah.
You know, I feel different. It's you know, he was only 47.
Yeah.
And it's just like. It just feels surreal. The world just feels surreal at the minute, you know?
Like it's like one day, the next day, just gone like that.
Yeah.
So one of the things that when you say pushing it down and stuff, you know, that's something that, you know, I think most people, especially men, can relate to that totally, because you do, and you don't. It's like finding it hard to actually approach it.
Yeah.
And sort of get to the, and then a big part of that is the fear of doing it, because what it's going to bring to you, you know, lots of upset, pain, tears, and it's like that we're scared of that, aren't we? To sort of deal with it.
Yeah, I just don't think. I'm just trying to see the light in it, you know. Just trying to just because there's no other way. Otherwise, you're going to go nuts. You've got to try and. This is life. This is more than what you brought up on as a family and brought up. There's more going on than that. There's not just such security. There's a bigger scene here. There's more going on, and you know, I think it's amazing what you're doing, doing stuff like this to connect with people, because that's all we've got, really.
Yeah, exactly. You know? Yeah, that's exactly it, right?
That is all we've got, really.
That when you said about I would say, like, definitely try and go through it with somebody, right? So that, because a big part of what we do is like sharing the load, and it's not just cliche, it really does help. So I can relate to, just on a purely personal thing. So for my dad died when I was 18, right? So I spent then the next 24 years, 22 years-ish, till I was 40-ish, living with the same, not dealing with it, pushing it all down, you know, because it's that fear of, and also you ended up getting, which a lot of people do, getting guilt. Even like you think of things, you know, it's where your brain works. You think of things that, this happened when I was 16, you know, and then you're carrying that guilt. Well, the last thing I'd have said this, you know, and stuff like that.
The last thing me and my brother said was we had a bit of a, not an argument, but you know, he was annoyed at me, you know. And that cuts, but I can't let that cut because we've had that through our life, you know.
Exactly, man.
But we've also had real good laughs, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we loved each other, and I love him to bits. So even though we clashed at times, but I would have done anything for him, you know. I would have dropped anything and just been there, you know. If he said, "I need you here," I would have just done. Let's do it, go, you know. Yeah. So that I always remind myself of that, and he would have done. Well, he did do the same for me, you know. So that. All those the bits of nagging and all that crap that life throws, that's not what it is, you know. Because you know, you remember people when I think of him, I laugh, you know.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
I have a laugh because he was funny. He was dry, you know, dry. But so it's funny how I'm glad those memories come first. I don't mean them to; they just come straight away. So if that's coming straight away, that's
really good. That's really good. Yeah, really good. It shows the light. It's the light and not the darkness, isn't it? You know? But it's a process, you know, like if you check into it, all the processes of grief and everything, it's a process you work through. And if you're from Christmas time, if you're at the place where you've not really dealt with it, but you're still getting those, you know, the happy, that's brilliant. So that's a real good positive. Fantastic, man. And you know, if you ever want to, you know, touch base, grab a brew or a pint or phone call, whatever, man. You know, anytime. Generally, seriously.
Cheers, brother.
No, it's all right, man. I know what it's like.
Thank you, man.
I know what it's like very much. Yeah, I didn't. When we talk about stuff, sometimes obviously it's not always. Sometimes people have to search for things in their life that have been those moments.
Well, you asked me that question at a real time. Maybe. It all depends where you are in life,
Exactly,
isn't it? Everyone goes through the same things, but just at different times, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
life's going to hit everyone, you know, at times, and life's going to be beautiful at times.
Yeah,
and
that's exactly it.
You know.
And this is the thing. So I was talking to someone recently about how another thing through my life, and I think generally people, we sort of like want everything to be dead smooth, and when it doesn't, then it's like, everything's come apart, but it's not, is it? It's just it's like a flight, like a plane flight, isn't it? You know, you're going to get a little bit of bump.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's worse than others, but you do have the downs. You've got to have the downs.
Yeah.
So I've learned to thankfully appreciate them, the hard times. I've just been through going through one myself, and it's like I find waves of it, not just in my life, but around me. So obviously doing this, you end up talking to and communicating and listening to a lot of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people going through things. So I started noticing these patterns that you get a lot of people around me or that I'm connected with they're all going through several big bad things all at the same time. It's like waves. And it's so, and if I was saying to somebody the other day, it'd be so cool if it seems like there's almost like times to it almost, you know, like 3 months down the line, then everybody's coming back to having this wave of, and that, you know, like this, I was saying to somebody recently that the saying it rains, never rains, it pours, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's so true as well. That everybody doesn't just come with one slap in the face. Everybody has like 1 slap, 2 slaps, 3 slaps. And it seems like there's this pattern. So it would be awesome if you could find out, you know, like, right, guys, it's coming up to that time. We've had 3 months of good stuff now.
Yeah.
Everybody get ready.
Get ready.
You know what I mean? But it's weird. It's like these patterns.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a lot come with, since I was 40. So you said before about in your life, since you're in your 40s, is that, and that's sort of giving you a different approach, almost like a different view of life.
Just to tune more into more of a, don't worry too much and try not to worry. I mean, I do, but, you know, because I don't like hurting people, you know.
Of course. Yeah.
And I never intend, I'm always trying to look for the light and tune into, if I'm with you and I'm tuning into you, do you know what I mean? I'm going to try and listen and be in the moment with you, you know.
Yeah.
But I think when you hit your 40s, you definitely think, I don't even know if it's a number thing. I just think it's a natural biological thing that seems to happen, you know. I don't really see numbers and age. I just see who I am now, and I try and look after myself and keep fit if I can.
Yeah.
And I think you try and listen to you just try and tune into what's really important, you know. And I think when you're a kid, I just wish I was now when I was in my 20s. Do you know what I mean? Because if I did it again, there'd be a lot of people like, no, that's not happening. That's not happening. This is not. You know what I mean? It's just weird how you have to go through that to know.
Yeah, but conversely, though, you wouldn't be you.
No.
Be able to be in this place without all that, right? And that's what's beautiful about it, don't you think?
Yeah, I'm lucky. I'm lucky to. It's not many people get to see it like that. You know? I get to see the importance of. Well, I always have really nature and walking out in it, and the importance of silence and calmness and love, and you know those things are really important. And and we don't talk about it more. I want a leader of a state to talk about love, to talk about bringing people together, you know, it's important. It's like, otherwise, what else? Well, love is the key. Yeah, love is the key, really.
Man. First, another one
it is, man.
Definitely,
it is the key.
We talk about this a lot. I've got a friend in America that I only met through social media, basically, and she's a lady called Elle, right? So when she was her daughter got killed by somebody, and then she ended up meeting them in prison. And then forgiving them, and like she goes to visit the particular prison, but I think maybe more than one. She's part of this.
Well, you know her.
Other mums.
You met her?
I only know her through social media.
Right.
She's a lovely lady, and she's a poet as well. And her thing is love wins. Love wins, and I love that, and it's so inspiring. You know.
Wow.
For me, I see it very much. Love is the key, like you said. It's the most powerful thing that exists.
And we don't hear anyone talk. I mean, we all know it. We all. Some people a bit. it kind of makes people uncomfortable sometimes,
Very
that word
much,
love.
yeah,
When you
it
say
does,
love, they
doesn't it?
look at you
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
what's going on? It's
I
like,
know.
listen, man,
Yeah,
this is all this is,
yeah,
you know, your football and your all your comfort things you put around you that, you know, that you need to dig deeper and realize that it is the key. It really is. It truly is.
Do you think maybe people, I find a lot of people equate it to romance, you know, so when you're talking about love and things like this a lot, I think we've unfortunately been pushed into that thing where it's like, oh, love is, you know, your Netflix with your movie and your Disney and your all this sort of stuff, all about couples, romance and all this. Well, that's tiny little part of it for me is that. So for me, as love is evident every day all around you, you know, with a smile or kindness. Or
in your heart, how you go about the world, how you treat people, really, how you see someone, and that should be you should see him as your brother and sister. You should see him as you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100% I do,
You have to, because I want to be treated the way I treat others, you know. And that's kind of comes under love, you know.
Yeah, of course it does. And also self-love. So that's something that I shout about a lot and write about, is that it's like the whole thing of, I think part of this society that I've grown up in has been to the detriment of self, you know, loving oneself. And so you can get yourself into little good habits that start to allow yourself to, oh, I'm not so bad. You know what I mean? And start to give yourself, like, if it's a best friend you've got or something, it's like, what do you do when you love somebody? You give them patience,
time,
you know, support, you're there for them, you want the best for them. So it's like, do it for you.
Yeah.
You know? So you were saying before about getting, you know, nature and what. So do you try and spend time like out in the air and walking and things?
I do a lot of walking. Yeah, I do a lot. I need that.
So where do you go? Where sort of places do you go?
Lim Dam. I've just moved to Lim at the minute, so Lim Dam's beautiful. I go to Dunamassy, I go to Tatton Park.
Lovely,
anywhere where there's just green, you know, and you can just sit in that. I think it's the energy of that is important. It's so overwhelming, you know. You do feel it, you know. It's not just a walk when you actually sit and feel and think of what's going on around you and the energy. It's so good for you, you know. I remember when I got COVID and I was really ill for about 14 weeks.
Wow.
And that's the only thing that helped me. Like, I used to walk in nature in the woods. I just felt like it used to put me like just sounds, not music, just certain sounds, like vibration music. And I used to just walk, and I just felt like I'm going to be all right. I'm going to be okay, you know. I could feel. It was like medicine. It really helped me. You know?
So when you're around trees, there's something that they give off apart from the oxygen. But it's increasing your happy hormones, but also decreasing your stress hormones. So effectively lowering your blood pressure and everything. Obviously, you're getting the extra boosts of oxygen from the trees as well. But then also you're in amongst the network, the mycelium network. So the mycelium network, I don't know if this is something you've looked at, mushrooms and all this. So mycelium network runs under the ground, under the woodland floor. And it's connecting all the trees and everything together, right? So you see the fungus come up. That's the fruit of the mycelium network. But basically, it's almost like this network is, I know very little about it, but it's almost like the internet, but nature's internet. So you'll have one tree. This is crazy when I found this out. This is not pseudo, this is real stuff. So you've got a mother tree, and they'll be over here, whatever, just, you know, for explaining purposes, they're here. And then you've got up here, you've got a younger tree, maybe it's up on a slope, so that they're not getting enough water because the water's passing them. So maybe they're a bit short of water. Then they will send a message. They will send a message, which then gets through to the mother tree. So then the mother tree will send water to them, to that tree, through the other ones. How amazing is that? Just in itself, it's just crazy, isn't it?
Wow.
Would you, Junie's just here now. That's perfect timing. Hey man, come in. How are you doing? You all right?
Yeah.
You want to come sit down? You all right?
Yeah.
Do you want to sort yourself out first?
I'm okay.
You good, yeah? Come and sit down, man.
All right, brother. You all right?
Yeah, we're on, yeah.
I'm having direct.
Let me get something to put the mic on.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Good.
your voice a bit this morning. You're not feeling very loud. You can set it out if you want. It's okay, like. Yeah. Or do you want to just make a guest appearance? So welcome, Junior.
Yeah. Hello.
You're right, man.
So Junior's to thank for you being here this morning, basically. So we've had a song off Kirk already.
Right.
He played Murmur. Remember from the show?
Yeah.
So that was really cool. And I was wondering if you fancy doing another one in a minute.
Yeah.
Before we do that, though, so we've got. Someone said. He's got one of the guys, Reese. He said to you before, Junior, about your song as well.
Oh,
yeah. Air it on his radio show. He loves your song. So he's got
the Murmur one.
Yeah. He's got a radio show that he does down in. He's from South Wales, so I think he does there's a lot of rock in there.
Okay.
He does like a softer section.
Okay.
And things like
Yeah.
So I think he loves your song. That's awesome, Gee, man. And then Duncan said, Nathan, you have 5 kids. Have you ever thought of playing Monopoly? Cheers, Duncan. Thanks, mate.
Kids.
So before you do next song, have you got in mind what you're going to play?
No. I won't know till I pick the guitar up.
I think what we'll do as well, try on this one, right? When we play this song, put the mic, maybe clip it, like put it on the ear or down there or something, so it's not in your way.
Okay.
And then we'll get the full sound.
Okay.
But before that, school. What was school like for you?
School? Well, my school wasn't great, Didn't really have an education until I left school, really. That's when it started. My school was a bit weak and poor. Yeah. Didn't do any. It was funny because I'm just doing a counselling course now. I've enrolled on, just how to be a counsellor. But I was just intrigued. Whether I do it or not, I don't know. But I've always been intrigued by the mind and how, and it's totally opened my head up. A counsellor is not what you think. The skills you learn is pretty bizarre. But yeah, why did I say that? Oh yeah, because I needed to know what my GCSEs were to get on this course. Right. Oh my God. And I wish I'd never sent off for them now, because it just reminded me just how dumbass I was. Do you know what I mean? I just didn't take anything on board at school, I didn't really, I didn't, I was just like...
A lot of it's down to what you've got at school, right? So we had a guy come in the other day, a dropper, and he was telling me that when he was at school, he did all right, but then he got a U in maths. So U was unclassified, right? But he said,
he did better than me.
It was my teacher, 100% my teacher. Like, we didn't connect, and that's why I did this. And then he proved it to himself in later years. He got an A in maths.
Yeah.
When he did, like, as an adult, he did GCSE maths again. So he got an A or an A plus or something like that. So it showed. So when you're saying about that, you're sort of looking back at your GCSEs, we are all dependent on the school, the system.
Yeah, of course.
Teachers. I'm probably going to toss pan in the verse. I'm not blaming my teachers. I feel like they just didn't put the work in. It's as simple as that.
Well, growing up, all right, when you grow up in those sort of areas, you just, I grew up in Rochdale, so there was just I think all my mum said was, what did you have for tea at school today? But there was that's as deep as school went, and it was like, it just wasn't a thing. Whereas when I got out of Rochdale and went to Altrincham and other places, everyone went to university. It was just a thing you did, and it was like, I didn't know anyone that went to university. Not one of my mates went to university. None of them, and I wish I did. I wish I did have that opportunity, because I am interested in stuff now. Yeah. I read a lot now, and I'm interested. It's like,
you're not even halfway through your life now. So you've got loads of time. Yeah. You've got loads of, like you said about age not being a number.
Yeah.
You've got loads of time to learn whatever you want.
Yeah.
That's what I did, man. When I got to 40, I went to college and went to university. Yeah. And that, you know what I mean?
Did you when you were 40?
Yeah.
What did you study?
I studied drama.
Did you?
Performing arts and drama. That's done 2 years and then 3 years at John Moores.
Doing drama?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that I just want to prove myself that I'm not as thick as I look. You know what I mean? To do something. And I just did it. And honestly, it was the best. The university in John Moore was the best. I'm still friends with some of the lads now.
Wow.
The best time I had going to uni. And I couldn't have done that when I was like 18, 19, 20. No way.
Why is that? You weren't in the right...
Because there's too much in your head going on when you're that age. you're not ready to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Some people are.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready to do that at that age.
Yeah.
When I got to 40 and I'm more adult, more grown up, more mature, it was like, right, I can do this, and I went. Didn't plan to go to university, but the tutor at college, Les Williams, he said, you should go to uni. I went, I'm not that far, I'm 42. He goes, no. And when I went, honestly, the university was dead happy to see a mature student come. We've done everything to make sure that you enjoy the course and stay there. Everything.
Yeah.
The fellow the Blue, can't praise him enough. He was brilliant with me. You know what I mean? And I had the best time there in them 3 years going to university. You know.
Yeah.
I just proved to myself. Well, at school, I was just interested in cricket.
Right.
I wasn't even just in music. But at that time, when I was younger, only when I got older, you know what I mean?
But when you just said about when you did drama, was that when you met Dave? Which one you did?
No, I met Dave Pachigan in the early 90s when I went to college I went to college to do the music course. Yeah. And that's when I met Dave. Then I went back later to do the drama.
Right. Just wanted to say that Dave's our guest next week.
Yeah.
So school, you sort of
didn't really pay much attention. Just I didn't. Some days would just sack it off and go into town and just mess, wagging it, whatever they call it. You know what I mean? That sort of vibe, really. It was just wasn't enough.
What I'm trying to get, because there's a lot of kids at the moment, a lot of stresses about exams and stuff like this, and sometimes there's a feeling like if they don't, if I don't do this, then my life isn't worth. No, I'm just trying to say.
Not at all. I just think get into something. Yeah. And I got into music, and that's what kind of where my life went. When I was like 12, and then I got really obsessed into guitar. I used to think, can't wait to get home from school to get on my guitar to learn that riff or learn that. Do you know what I mean? Learn that Zepp song or whatever. Couldn't. And when I got it off, I was like, check me out, But then that soon goes, and then you think I've got to learn another song now to think I'm good, and another one, So that's how music really.
But you brought by your music, it brings a lot of happiness to people's lives, doesn't it? As much as your own.
Yeah, I hope so.
Like I said, I always look at one person. So if you look at it with regards to you play a song at a gig or they listen to it online, you bring something to that one person without forgetting all the GCSEs and everything. They don't really matter in that instance, do they?
No,
it's like that's what matters. Right?
No, well, schooling's not the be all and end all. It's a program school fit for certain people.
Yeah.
And certain people, it's just not, and it just wasn't suited for me.
See, that's a brilliant way of putting it. I think that's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, it's not for everyone, schooling.
Yeah. I've got 6 grandkids now.
6?
Yeah, 6. And one of my grandsons, when I asked him, what's your favourite part of school? He goes, dinner. Every time.
Yeah. Great, You just got.
That's nice, isn't it? Because that's the time of the day. You're not going to do work. You get to be free and play. How old is he?
He's 9.
Yeah, so it's perfect. Tell you, go and play with all your mates and stuff like that. That's what's the best thing about school. I was saying I shared something about Finland. So Finland have one of the highest ranked education systems in the world, right? They go between 1 and 3, so they're really high, like way above ours. And they don't do homework, so they treat it as a thing that the kids start school when they're a bit older.
Yeah, is it 7 or something?
Yeah, it's
7 or 8.
Much later. There's not as much pressure, so they make it a lot more conducive to the kids being happy and all that sort of stuff. But they used to have an education system which was ranked similar to like America sort of thing. But then they went, no, we don't like this. We're rubbish. We need to change it.
Wow.
So then they started changing their system to make it about the kids. And now
schools what they need to do in schools. They need to tailor schools for people who like going to school.
Yeah.
There'll be no one in school.
Some people actually like
no, they do. Yeah. No, empty buildings.
Say, for example, you've got a subject, and whatever the subject is, that teacher up there wants to teach that subject. Then you've got, say, instead of 30 kids, you've got 10 kids in that class who want to learn that subject, and that's what they want to do. It makes them happy. It's their passion. Brilliant. You're dead right. And in such a simple way, like that's dead right. Because they're the other kids, you find what they want to do, what makes them happy, so doing this, just quickly, like patterns, I was saying to you before about patterns, like you see patterns. One of the things I've seen is that everyone's brain is just, like you have different groups of people, and some groups of people, a lot of men I've met, or their brains are not geared to sitting down, reading, writing, and stuff like this. Their brain is geared to pulling things apart, building things, creating things, designing things, making things. That's a whole different part of the brain. So all, like you said, school is just meant for, and I totally agree. So it's about time in 2023 that we had it where, right, okay, instead of just, all we're doing is catering for a few kids in this class.
Well, school's set up for the system. That's why maths and English is pushed, because maths, they want us to get out there and be involved in the system of money and maths, and that's why maths is on top of the agenda. And it's like, no, I want music. Music's just as important. The arts are just as important.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
30 of kids in a class. There's no way in this world that 30 kids are going to be interested in the same thing.
No, they're trying to set you up.
That's what they're trying to do to you.
100%.
You've got to be geography. You've got to be. It's like
they want that GDP growth or whatever it is. They just the system is planned for that, and I'm not interested in that. No, most people are not. You know what I mean? And I think the time will come when it's going. The curtains are going to fall, man. And
what the Rishi Sunak says, every something about kids should be going to university until start school until they're 18 or something, or doing maths, and it's like you haven't enough. You're trying to like basically dictate to people that they should do maths. Why? You know.
I think it will come when we start bringing it back to us, bringing the power back. Yeah, I think it is. And I think it'll come.
I advocate peaceful resolution,
and
discourse and debate, because since they changed, deadly serious actually for a second, they changed the rules or the laws. They brought new statutes into play, I think just before the coronation, so that you've got to be really careful.
Don't mention that word.
So
I'm with you there.
If people are like, if people are openly promoting protest and stuff like this, then
you get arrested.
Oh, the whole laws have changed now. So so that's all the conversation.
Yeah, I saw some people getting
even saying things like, let's have a revolution now. All these things aren't as simple as they were, say, 5 years.
They're trying to stop that, aren't they?
They're going to do well to get that through a court, aren't they?
Not going to happen.
It's just not going to work.
No.
So Karen said there's never a time limit on learning, lads, because we were talking about learning before. So that's good. Karen,
yes, Karen. No, never.
Well, there's people. There's something where there was I think there's a woman who was in the 80s or something like that, just on like some kind of art thing. Yeah. 80 odd.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So this.
As long as the heart's ticking, you can. It doesn't matter about age and that. You can. As long as that heart keeps beating, you can do what you can get into anything. That's what it's about, and the energy is still there. Song.
Yeah. So are you okay to do us another song?
Yeah.
I was thinking with the mic. We put the mic on here this time. Yeah. I'll put it up here and then capture the whole thing.
I remember I'll tell you, I've known Kirk a long time now. Must be 20 odd years.
Yeah, late 90s.
When we met up again, when we met at Art of Tea there.
Oh, in Manchester.
When you walked out of, I know that face.
I've not seen you for a while then, have I?
No, we haven't seen each other for a while, for years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's just one. I mean, it's when you see it's. I know it. I know that many people.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. You sort of blend in, and sometimes it's when you see people as well, and they sort of act to you like, "Oh, hi," and then because you don't recognise them instantly or recognise where you know them from. That's always the hard. So what's this song that you're?
I might do a tune called Circle.
Circle.
Yeah.
Okay. And is this anywhere where anybody can listen to this one?
Yeah, this is on Facebook, Bandcamp, or kind. Yeah.
Okay.
Facebook.
Well, I'll try. What I'll do is I'll get some links off you after.
Yeah.
And I'll put them in the comments. Okay. So this is Circle.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
with the setting of the sun. Sees a new life just begun. It's not a suit that's tailor-made. It's just a path we all must take. What if there is no end? We'll take that strip again, like a circle spinning round and round and round inside your head. Say your prayers out loud, they won't keep you from falling down, like a circle spinning round. There is no end. With the rising of the tide, seize a chance to realize within each footprint that we make, to give back all that we take. If there is no end, we'll take that strip again, like a circle spinning round. Say your prayers out loud, they won't keep you from falling down, like a circle spinning round. There is no end. Take this trip again, like a circle spinning round and round and round inside your head. Say your prayers out loud, they won't keep you falling down, like a circle spinning round. There is no end. Round and round and round inside your head, round and round inside your head, round and round inside your head.
Someone called Topical just coming to.
Just
says someone. I think you've got a fan, groupie.
What's it saying?
Says Kirk Mcelhinney is just amazing.
Oh.
Clap hands as well. But no, but you are, man. Genuinely,
that's the life.
Yeah. But genuinely, though, seriously.
I want to ask you, Kit, that style you're playing here, right? You don't see.
Want a break?
I'll have a water.
You don't see many people playing that style. What kind of style? What kind of style is that? You know, the picking style you've got. What would you call it? If any young kids, if anyone's watching and go, right, I want to play like that.
I call it trial and error.
Yeah.
Just keep going till you get something together.
Yeah.
No, I think it's just splitting the thumb with the top fingers, just trying to get the bass.
It's hard, though, isn't it? That is a very that picking, that kind of Travis picking style.
Yeah.
It's not easy, is it?
It's like when you learn it. Like I always I learn it trying to get. I think one tip would be if you listen to a song, try and get all the elements on the guitar.
Yeah.
So you can hear the bass.
Yeah.
Work the bass out first, and then try and get the melody. Like when I was learning, I don't know, not always, but like a little instance, When I'm 64 by the Beatles.
Yeah,
I remember thinking, oh, that's a great tune. I remember going, and I get older, in my head. I remember just getting that off in the chord, and I thought, right, well, I need to try and get, try and get the melody.
Karen says you've improved a lot since the old Rio Blues days.
That was a band I used to be.
Right. There's a song you've got to play. I'm one day I'm going to want to hear you play it. Big Love by Fleet I
used to be able to play that.
I'm learning that right. I'm learning that right. And it's
he's got that the bass though.
It's unreal, isn't it? How it's just unreal.
Amazing. It's amazing.
His
version of that.
I played at home. I'd never played in public. I love it. I sit and play at home just to practice to get me picking style going. But it's a tune.
The thumb and the fingers, but that's an amazing.
Yeah.
If somebody was to want to learn, but they didn't have much time, you know, it's got any time nowadays, right? So if somebody wants to learn guitar and they've got not much. Have you got any sort of hints, tips, how they would start off like?
Just get
quickly.
Just get chords under your belt. Yeah. Just learn as many chords as you can. Get your bar chords down and get your open chords. You know, that'd be the. Just get them. Don't worry about songs or anything. Just make sure you can change from one chord to another smoothly. You know, get that down, and that opens up a whole. You know,
I'm glad you mentioned bar chords because when I speak to youngsters about bar chords are hard, I said, look, learn bar chords because that'll help you with your dexterity in your fingers. And learn your bar chords. And learn. I used to learn the hardest ones. To get the stretch. You know what I mean? Especially them C-shaped bar chords.
They're hard.
They're a lot hard.
It puts a lot of people off. But I can't do it. I think you just got to keep doing it.
Definitely.
They are hard. You know.
What would you count nowadays as? So obviously we've heard a bit about how your idols and your inspiration. You know, you've travelled around doing.
To do more.
So what would you count as success? What does success like? What does it mean to you? What is success to you?
Well, I was never. I found that hard for years. You always especially when you start off, you want that labeling. Because in the 90s, it was like. That's when music, because the 90s for me was kind of the last great decade, That's when, before the internet came, but that's when people still played, and, I'm talking about mainstream pop now, I'm talking about what was in the forefront. I thought the 90s was great, it was still people playing and hands on,
Loads. Loads, I think all the bands, it was like the decade of the bands, as well as the house music you had on the one side. You had loads of mainstream bands, didn't you? British ones as well. Success. So success to you. You were saying about the 90s was the last
so the 90s, I was always like, I gotta get a label, I want to try and get signed and all that, and I just thought, this is just not, what is that? What does that even mean? Do you know what I mean? And then, so now it's just, especially since hitting my 40s, I just love playing now. I'm really settled into playing. I remember why don't I just see this years ago instead of, no, I'm not happening to get to the next festival. You're always trying to, and I still try and do that. I still always, the path we have, you're always trying to look for the next gig, But enjoy it now. Really sit in and I really take the space and I really make sure I'm in the moment when I'm playing. And if people are listening, I'm going to give it my all, I'm going to really try and tune in and worship the art of music, really, what that is, I really try and do that.
So if somebody wanted to book you for an event, Are you available for like all like weddings and
weddings?
other
I try and
events,
have weddings. I kind of just do what I mean. This woman asked me for a wedding the other day, and she's like, "Oh yeah," I said, she'd known the price, and I thought, well, I can't really turn that down, But then she said the set list, and I'm thinking I can't turn it down, and I am turning it down. I don't want to spend 4 days learning men's and stuff. It's just not my. You've got to play. I've still got to be true to me. And
that's what I mean. So if somebody wanted to book you, for doing you.
I mean, I do covers, you know what I mean. But I try and do interesting vibes, but. If they want to book me, just get us on Facebook or something. Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
I've got to mention as well. I've got Kirk playing on the 24th of June at the Queen of Arts Sunday. So.
Really?
Yeah.
24th of June coming up. That's
24th. Yeah,
brilliant.
Next month. Yeah.
So awesome. Yeah, it's in diary, that brother.
Yeah. Always, and I've got to say though, Kirk's really obviously because we're friends. You know what I mean? We're mates and that. When I ask him to play something, if he can, he's true to and says, he came and played the singer-songwriters night,
Yeah.
Always, always.
Well, obviously, like I said before, we asked you the other week, didn't we? Because when I saw him on the stage at the studio, wasn't it? It was like,
we're lucky.
Can we get him on? but then the fact of just being able to just come today instead of. And just swap it around.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So grateful, man. So appreciative.
Well, very lucky to know quality musicians like you. You know what I mean? It's like it's just the amount of and there's loads of musicians around that obviously because you do stuff for a while, you get to meet so many people. It's just good. I always find musicians are the best people.
Yeah.
I'm no disrespect to other people. You know what I mean? I always like I find.
Their energy, the vibe.
Yeah.
Well, if you're watching this, I mentioned it before. If you're watching and you are or you're able to get to Runcorn for Friday, so on Friday afternoon between 12 and 6, we've got we're having in the lounge here just a bit of a jam really. So if you've got an instrument of any kind, acoustic, so it can be guitar, ukulele, a flute, a banjo, tambourine, drum, cajon. That's what they're called, right? Anything, just bring it along. So bring it along, bring it into the community lounge at Runcorn Station between 12 and 6. We're hoping to get a bit of a musical vibe going on there. And it's Mental Health Awareness Week, so that's what it's all about. I just wanted to tell everyone as well about there's loads of stuff coming up in the next few weeks. You just mentioned, so what was that? Queen of Hearts.
Queen of Hearts. Yeah.
Chubs on the Hill is coming up at the end of June, isn't it? I think?
Yeah, 27th of May as well. The Wilson's Wellfest.
Oh right, okay.
That's another thing where I've got as well. I've got the possibilities. This is a place that Debbie works at. Who's in the verdict me. They do signing with the people that she looks after.
Oh right, okay.
So we got a few songs where they're going to come and sign.
Amazing! That is right, yeah.
Makaton.
Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. I love that.
They're gonna be performing at the Wilsons on the 27th.
At the Wilsons. This is part of
Wellfest. Yeah.
Okay, that sounds amazing. Chester Races has just been on, hasn't it? Eurovision has just been on. Not my thing, but loads of people really love the whole Eurovision thing.
Has it?
Liverpool. Yeah. So they had a big. It was all in Liverpool, wasn't it? It was like a big big party. I went a lot. It was really strange because went out on Saturday for just a couple of hours, and it was weird because I was saying like, when did it start being all of a sudden everyone's loving Eurovision? Because like growing up, I was it was like a joke almost, but
it's still a joke.
Is it because I think the only thing is I think it's because this year must be because it's Liverpool. Because there's a lot of people who had a really good time, which is awesome, right?
That's Liverpool,
with
isn't it?
music.
Liverpool's such a cool town,
Liverpool's great. I love Liverpool. Yeah, man.
You know, when I play Liverpool, like when I play Manchester, no disrespect to Manchester, but there's like a reservedness in Manchester, like trying to live too cool and keep that swag going.
Right,
get to Liverpool, that's all out the window, man. People are just up for life.
But so what do you think? Because Liverpool, when I so I do homeschooling trips with an 11-year-old, right? So in 2 weeks, we went Liverpool 1 week, Manchester the other week, to the museums. And the difference Liverpool for me massively was it's still, even though it's a city, it's still so like community, like as in small. So even though you got loads of people coming in, but when we went to Manchester, I love them both, by the way. But when we went to Manchester, it's like it's got that. When you get to the train, get out of Piccadilly. Piccadilly's huge, isn't it? Get out of Piccadilly. It's got this city feel, and I don't know if Liverpool has the same. For Liverpool, even though it's a city, it still feels a bit more small. Is that like people spread out more?
You can't go to Liverpool again. Liverpool's small. That's it. Liverpool again. You've had it.
Community. I love it anyway. Community. It feels more community.
Well, it's a big second biggest city, isn't it?
Manchester,
So it has that as well. But I just think, people are different in Liverpool. You just got, and I think that, like, and you get a lot of people. It's like cultures and stuff, isn't it? So it's had its own mini culture. Liverpool. You know what I mean? Anyone who bans the sun is
exactly.
Any city that bans the sun, I want to live there.
Exactly.
It's sun paper, that is.
God.
So I also wanted to ask you as well. So what does you said about a few things that you do, like walking and other things that you do. So what does the whole mental health, that phrase, and well-being and look after yourself, what does it mean to you, the whole thing? Like, how important is it to you as a whole?
Well, I think it's important to all of us, isn't it? To everyone, but to me, it's. I think looking after yourself physically as well helps mental health. I think it's really good to get, if you're stressed and going for a run or just moving your body, getting your blood going, that helps. Really, eating well helps. Try not to eat sugar really too much, because that's just it's a depressant. That doesn't help. Get out into sunlight, get around people if you can, get positive vibes, play music, go and watch music, do things that you like to do, eat that good food, you know what I mean? And try and read certain things and learn certain things, about how. Read stuff that inspires you, that makes you think, I want to live like that. I want to adapt that approach, So it's very important,
So, really good advice. All of that. It's all just we're all part. It's like the same system, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's like it's not just doing this or just doing this. It's all part of the same thing. You eat, like you said, you eat well.
It's all of it.
You look after yourself.
Yeah.
I say it's like a seesaw. So that you're in the middle of the seesaw, and then whichever on this side of the seesaw is the feeling healthy and good and happy and everything. The other side is feeling really rubbish and unhealthy. It's literally what you do. You put more weight onto that side, that's what you'll end up feeling, isn't it? Yeah. You eat loads of the good stuff. Like you eat well, don't you?
That's right.
You look after yourself.
And address the stress.
Do you know what? So
address the stress, man.
It's your life, isn't it? Because if you put all your sort of, if you live a life of worrying about constantly what you're doing, your life's full of bills, your life's full of trying to do this, running here, there, and everywhere, and not giving yourself that time, then you soon find out, don't you? So you soon start
creeps up.
Are you going to? I just wanted to. There was something else I just wanted to tell everybody, and then before we go, you haven't got your guitar, have you, to play the signature tune?
No. I wish, Kirk, but you're left-handed.
Left-handed, yeah.
I can play it upside down. It's not going to sound good. That's the thing with being left-handed, isn't it?
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it?
And right-handed. The thing with being right-handed, isn't it? The right-handed people can't use your guitar.
But it's weird how you go in a guitar shop and all the guitars are right-handed, isn't it?
Yeah, enough. Yeah.
Really?
I had this discussion the other day. I was on open mic, so I run an open mic in Runcorn, and I'm left-handed. Well, as you know, open mics, we go to an open mic, you take your own instrument. So I turn up, being left-handed with my guitar, and there's a few other guitarists there who turn up, but they haven't brought their guitars, and they're right-handed. So I was basically had a discussion that basically I should bring a right-handed guitar thing. Well, why should I bring a right-handed guitar to? I'm left-handed. If you come to a mic, bring your guitar to play.
Yeah.
It was a discussion. You know,
but you won't see a right-handed guitarist bringing a left-hand guitar.
No.
You know what I mean?
No, I've never seen it ever.
No,
ever. I've never seen it ever.
Because you don't, do you? Because all it happens is the guitarist as their guitar. That's it.
But and what I say to people as well, even if I was right-handed, right, and you didn't bring your guitar, what makes you think I'm going to let you use my guitar? Because some guitarists would not let you touch their guitar. People go, "Can I borrow your guitar, mate?" Sorry, mate. No.
Especially if you don't know them.
Exactly.
If you know the person, it's fine. But some people don't care, and
they just smash it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Like,
exactly. So it's a discussion that I had. I'm thinking, and it's like, it's
do you know what? The only thing maybe they were made is, you know, when we do the Tigers, so when we do the Tigers Head every month, the amount of times when somebody has gone, "Oh, I haven't got a guitar with me," so sometimes like Kev will have a spare guitar there, just sitting there, for someone to use.
But he's right-handed, isn't he?
Yeah, no. So what I mean
I bet he hasn't got a left-hand guitar there.
No, I know, yeah. So that's what it was. If you're going to do it properly, you could have, but then you'd have to take like 2 spare guitars, wouldn't you? Because you'd have to have a spare left-hand guitar.
And not only that though, if you're buying a spare guitar for people to use, you've got to look at the issue, right?
Yeah.
If they smash it, you've got to pay for it.
Yeah, of course.
You've got to change the strings.
Yeah.
So you're basically supplying. You're making people lazy, actually.
Yeah.
Because to supplying.
well, I don't let people play. Let's annoy you. I know you're cool. Because I've done it in the past, and they're smashing the guitar.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like
that's your instrument. That's your.
that's not the thing,
Exactly. You got you play that. That's the guitar you play gigs with. That's your. And people don't realize it.
Yeah. Do you know what I can relate that to is? So I used to have, when I used to sing, I used to do it to tracks, right? So I used to have a nice microphone.
Yeah.
So my microphone was my radio mic, and I used to use that. That was my main thing. You know, that was like your guitar is. I couldn't do my gigs, so nobody touched that microphone. You know what I mean? And even at weddings, it was like, "Oh, can I borrow your microphone for this?" I'm like, "Oh, I'll be watching you at all times." Because it's just with something that it's something that you use, and it's so important to what you do. Yeah. I think people can. It's just how you look at it, isn't it? People don't see it like
it's having a portion, and
people come to me like, "Can I just play a song on your guitar?" I don't even know you from Adam. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
They're a bit drunk.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're like, "Can I just?" And they pick it up onto the toilet, and I've seen people go like, "Pick it up."
No.
Yeah, man. And they're like, "No, you're gonna get."
That's just it's not.
No, it's not because So if ever you're in that position, we've said it before, haven't we? I've been singing and playing gigs, and people, coming up and talking to you, when you're trying to in the middle of a set.
We've had that. Every musician in the world has had that.
Women sitting on my knee, like while I'm playing, sat on my knee with her arm on me. Do you know any Robbie Williams? I'm like, I've been playing it, sat on my knee here like that, arm around me like, what the? How could I find the funny side? I thought it was quite funny.
Or Robbie Williams.
Yeah, which one would I choose?
Which one is less worse for you to do? If you had to choose
all of them.
One of those.
All of them.
Yeah,
all of them.
I suppose I'd play, don't he? So it'd have to be Robbie.
Yeah, Robbie would to not be.
Yeah, I would be Robbie. Although I did like Angels, I did like that track. But apparently he robbed that track.
Oh, did he?
Apparently he did. It was an Irish busker that wrote that song. Apparently, if you look into the story of Angels, because I remember hearing Angels and thinking that's a great song. And I thought, how's he wrote a song like that? All of us songs are whack.
You can't write this song.
And I thought, how's he wrote such an amazing song? But the story behind it is pretty dark, man.
But when he was doing writing with Guy Chambers, I thought there was an album that he did, Escapology, right? And I really like that. There was a song in that album that's called Revolution. You really should check this out, okay? So this, it's sort of going about. There's a knot in your back, and all this song is so relative to what I was going through in 2020. It's crazy. So and I can't find out the meaning of this song. What the point is.
Robbie Williams.
Yeah, it's on this track, on this album, Escapology, I think it was, Revolution, and he does it as a duet on the song. But it's just the lyrics are really sort of jumped out at me. So I started looking for the meaning, why somebody wrote this song. I don't even know if he wrote it. But it's one of those songs. It's like it was like very much. It was almost like an awakening sort of song. Almost like whoever wrote that song, they recognised some of these symptoms and traits and stuff that you have, and then they wrote them down.
I'll have to listen to this.
Yeah.
What's it called again?
Revolution. It's called.
Right.
Yeah.
I
love that song. Yeah.
Well, I think music, anything that you put love in and honesty in, you can hear it. It's like That all the pop music now is no different to me than fast food. I don't want to eat fast food all the time. It's no good for you. No nutrition. Nothing in it. I want wholesome hearted love putting into it, and I think that's what a lot of kids are being fed now. Fast food.
Exactly. It's true. Yeah.
You look at the 60s and 70s. That was all wholesome, whole grain proper food, man.
So that
was the 60s and 70s was for me where mainstream music peaked. You know, it was just you can go back to those eras now. And it's just nothing comes close to it. Really.
No, nothing.
For the creativity, the honesty, the writing, the freeness. You know, you couldn't have a band like Pink Floyd now writing a 10-minute piece. It's like, why couldn't you? Why are we not seeing that? Why are we not seeing? It's just.
That's the thing about it, isn't it? I was just so glad, as you say, you're playing music now. You're playing music for you now. So you could be able to sit down and write and play whatever you want. You know, I'll do the same. You know what I mean? I'm not pandering to anyone, music wise. Also, if I write a song and I like it, I'll play it. Yeah. It doesn't. You know, I'm not waiting for someone. It's not going to happen. I'm not waiting for someone to go and go. Well, you know, that's a great song. You should let's sign it. It's not going to happen.
You never know what will happen, but I think you know your songs are amazing.
You know, I just like to write songs and play them. You know, as you say,
they're coming out. You've got you have the band now, aren't you?
The Brindley Rats, yeah.
So you've got loads of
a young band called the Brindley Rats.
All right.
So the guitarist is 15, still at school, young lad. He's learning. So as I know his dad asked him to join the band. The bass player I've known for, and the drummer is a great guy. He's a musician, you know. So it's a good line.
And that's your stuff there, basically, as well.
Yeah, it's all my stuff. Yeah.
Which is awesome. Yeah. So we're in the presence of two amazing musicians.
No, don't be saying that.
No. Both singer-songwriters.
Don't put me in the same class as Kirk.
It's not about class.
Nobody puts me in the same. No.
It's not about class at all. We're all equal. We're all human beings. I did want to ask you, so to play us out. So Junior usually plays us out with a signature tune. We've got a signature tune called Dreams that you wrote many years ago, didn't you?
Yeah, years ago.
And what made you day? You did, didn't it? Which was awesome. I was so
Spotify though. Can you listen to it?
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's just a song that I wrote years ago. I played it with a band back in the 90s, and when we started this show, it just seemed up to play it. You know what I mean?
It's a perfect song. We're gonna get it recorded, aren't we? So then you can get it out.
What Nathan is trying to say, right? He deprived me of having a recording of the main man, Pete Waterman. He deprived me. He was too quick with the stop button. I played it when Pete Waterman was on the show. And when we finished, Pete Waterman said, in his own words, that reminds me very Beatles. And I didn't get the camera because you pressed stop too early, you know what I mean? I could have lived off that for years.
Man, you pressed stop too early. You can use this.
No one's going to believe me.
That was your moment, man.
You know what I mean? So that's like, the man from Stock Taking Awards verifies one of my tunes, and I haven't got it on camera.
Major day, man. Yes, that was like a good moment. That was, you know.
Yeah.
And it's nice to have that sort of validation, isn't it? You know, from people, especially people who've been around music for all that time. He sat there and I said to you, he's you know, Stevie Wonder and Berry Gordy and all these different people. And then he's like, that's how
I'm Sammy Junior.
Because that's what he was actually thinking about it. Because he was saying that's what he tried to get a lot of the pop songs. That's what he tried to get into them, like that Motown-y sort of feel.
Yeah.
And when he was on about Never Gonna Give You Up, wasn't he? He was saying about that. He was saying that had like, you know, soul sound. And he said about when they went to a club when they released it in the States, and they'd made sure Rick Astley wasn't on any of the promo stuff anyway, because he was a white guy. And they went to this club. Yeah. So they went to this club, and he said they'd invited Rick Astley without knowing who he was, you know, because he was ginger as well, wasn't he?
Well, that was a start for him, wasn't it?
You know what I mean? It's like they were expecting
no offense to anyone who's ginger.
No, I got ginger daughter, like it's all good. So when they turned up, they were sort of at the door, and were like, what? Rick Astley, he was a white guy. Oh well. So they got him in the club and they played the song, but behind the curtain. He said they had the curtains closed, and the whole club was full. And then you open the curtains after the song, after everyone's been dancing and enjoying it. They all saw who he was, and he said reference.
What? They couldn't believe it.
Wow.
That's America for that's America, isn't it? It's America
I think
for that kind of.
because he was saying that what like that particular club that was it was very sort of split, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So which club was it?
I think it wasn't particularly. He was on about the music, essentially meaning that the audiences didn't cross over.
Right.
So you'd have like white audiences listening to white stuff.
Right.
That's what I think that's what he was trying to.
Yeah.
Cross. And that's why when they sold "You're Never Gonna Give You Up," they couldn't put Rick Astley's face on it. But if you want to watch the episode, it's on YouTube anyway. It's
especially in America. You know what I mean?
Isn't it crazy?
I know.
Oh yeah,
it's
very
crazy.
But Whitney Houston had the same thing, didn't she? From the other side where I think that I've heard the story from Alan, the guy who was a big manager, that it was a backlash because she wasn't doing enough. Her music wasn't soulful enough for the audience, you know. So she had a backlash because she's a sellout or something like that. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Music is music. It's music. It's got no colour.
That's it. Yeah, that's you just hit the nail right on the head there. That's
I hate the terms. I hate the terms.
I know.
You know, I'm not even going to say what they are, but I hate the term when they go this music, that music. Music's music.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. I would say the thing when you mentioned about 60s and 70s, you know, like the thing for me, which because I believe that wholeheartedly, but you know, the reality of it is that through the 50s, 60s, 70s, so many artists had their soul ripped out to then sell it to the Beatles, you know, get them to sing it, or the Rolling Stones.
That's known, and that's
Lulu, all the different.
You know what? I don't think that was the musician. I think that's the people behind. That's the managers and the
I'm not saying no. It's
the owners of the clubs and all that.
Going, I want to take your music. I don't. I just mean it must have been, you know, it must have been hard, that, right? Because you guys write music, it must have been horrible for you to write stuff, and then somebody going, "Oh yeah, well, no, we can't have that, but we'll get somebody else to do it."
But people look at you, don't they? People look at you and just presume that you do a certain kind of music by the way you look.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Just look at you.
You're only Liam Gallagher. You know, Liam Gallagher. I get that all the time. Plays a Noel song.
Exactly. You know, just you know, people presume that. Yeah.
Prejudgment.
Yeah, that's it. It's just one. It's just
funny, isn't it? Yeah,
that's funny. But music's music, man.
Well, a lot of what we're trying to do is non-judgmental. If you look somewhere, it'll say. So when we do the groups or anything we do, it's about trying to take away. So because we all judge, don't we, when you look at somebody? And have this instinct. I mean, like an instant thing. Yeah. So then it's like trying to use your own mind and go, no, it doesn't matter, you know, because now we're experienced in life, aren't you? So you've met loads of people who go against that initial judgment anyway, right? But the non-judgmental part of it is very much about that, the instant judgment, but also when people say stuff that you don't particularly like it's okay, you know what I mean? Let somebody just say something, let them get it out. Opinions change within a second, and you don't have to, without trying to preach, but you don't have to be offended. You don't have to be upset by what somebody says. You don't have to own it, do you? You know what I mean? Somebody could stand there and have a massive tirade at me, you know, and I don't have to get upset by it.
Just keep reading.
Let them get on. It's like, yeah, man, well done. Good for you. I'm glad you got it out.
Remember that you don't have to.
You don't have to own it, do you? It's everything's projected from what's inside. So if somebody's going around really angry, reality is they're not happy, are they? They're not in a happy place. No. They're probably really, really scared.
Yeah,
because usually anger is related to fear, and that's why you're getting angry, right?
You know, I hope this sort of stuff's being taught in schools. It's important, that message, you know. A lot of kids need to hear that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, man, so we are. Thank you so much for coming on today. It's been an absolute pleasure, really, really.
Last minute.
Yeah, absolutely. Really, really appreciate it. I was really excited about you coming on the show anyway. Would you be able to maybe play us out with a song? Do you think?
Do a song, yeah.
And then what we'll do is, like I said, I'll put links on. We'll put it onto YouTube and put links to your YouTube.
Yeah.
So what song are you going to do now for us?
I'll finish the song on this is a song called Blue Sky. It's about my daughter. I wrote this for my daughter.
Oh yeah, I remember this one, man. Yeah.
And it was
You told a cracking story about that as well, didn't you?
Didn't I? Look, she always wanted me to play it. She always says, "Make sure." She used to say, "Make sure you play it," you know, at the gig.
Yeah.
And so, if she didn't ask me to play it, I wouldn't play it. You know, because I play it all the time. But I'll play it now. So the sky was when she was born. I remember it was like 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
And the sun was out. And it was just one of those. It was like a cloud in the sky, and then the lines came into my head. Then for it, you know.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah, I'll get it.
Oh, the mic.
I'll get it.
Just fall off.
Just dropped it, yeah.
Yeah.
You got it.
There you go. I do love that.
Got this.
Yeah, it's cool.
Daddy.
She brings life within my life so bright. She guides me through my day. She's my blue sky. All I am and all I'll ever be, I will give to her. She's my blue sky. Oh, she's my all, my life. She holds a grip inside, turning all the time. She changed my wrongs to right, and all that we say one day will pass. So let's spread our love and let the moment last always. She brings light within my life, so bright. Don't want it any other way. She's my blue sky. All I want is for her to see how beautiful life can be. For she time. Oh, she's my life, my own. She holds a grip inside, turning all the time. She changed my wrongs to right. You know that we say one day will pass, so let's spread our love and let the moment last away. Know that we say one day will pass, so let's spread our love and the moment last away. Away.
That looks so easy, man.
So cool. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for playing that for us. We've done 3 songs for us today. So if anybody wants to, I'm going to put Kirk's the links on the page and also on our YouTube thing when it comes out. So obviously, if anybody wants to come along and listen to your music, which I'm sure they will, because it's amazing. Honestly, it's beautiful music. It's really good. Thank you so much for watching. If you've watched with us live today, please share it. Please respond. Please interact. So it's really, really important that we try and get those numbers for us to reach more people. And that's what it's all about, reaching out. If you're struggling today, then I'm sorry, first of all, because I've had some troubling times myself the last few weeks. I know very, very much how it feels, but it can be changed in a second. Sometimes it might be just a song that you listen to, something beautiful like that. It might just be somebody that you run across in life, not run across, but like come upon, happen upon. It could be say the wrong word, and that's it. Every word that you say after that, it's in your head. It's like, oh no, wrong word. Yeah, and sometimes you just got to reach out. I know it's really hard, but just reaching out, asking, speaking to somebody that you trust, it can make the difference. And if you know somebody who's struggling right now, please ask them twice or 3 times if you have to. Just be there. Don't pressure. You don't need to come up with any special advice or anything. You don't need to be qualified. Sometimes it's just listening, just being there, non-judgmental, just listening and with a smile on your face or at the right time, because you don't want to smile at the wrong time, obviously. But just being there and listening to somebody and just being humans. That's what we're here for, to be communicating together and helping each other and supporting each other. Thank you so much to Avanti as well for the use of the lounge here. Thank you to Laura, Community Champion, Simon, Station Manager, and all the rest of the team here. You make us really welcome when we're here. And next week we have Dave Mcelhinney coming on the show, hopefully. And he's CEO of Modern Sky Management. They have the Lathams, amongst other artists on their books. And he's also the founder of Sound City as well, so looking forward to that one. But for now, thank you so much, Kirk. Really appreciate it, mate. Really good. Really good. Really loved having you on here. Really good. And hopefully see you before long.
Yeah. Anytime, man.
Cheers, man. See, this is where we need a cameraman, because now I've got to. Thanks. Now we need someone to just be.
Get more control.
So it makes it look real, man.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah.
Right. Thank you very much, guys. Take care.
Nice one.